see. The world is waiting for the ones who hold the key. Just look inside, unlock the possibility. The dreamer lives in you and me. You and me. You and me. You and me. Yeah. And when we reach the destination, you will see. The world is waiting for the ones who hold the key. Just look inside, unlock the possibility. The dreamer lives in you and me. You and me, yeah. The dreamer lives in you and me.
Good morning, Judy.
Good morning.
How's it going in California?
Warm.
Yeah? It's cold and gray and rainy here today. Ugh.
Yeah, we finally got a little spring.
Nice. I bought myself a fuchsia plant, a giant hanging fuchsia plant, and it has purple and pink flowers hanging off it. And it's supposed to attract the hummingbirds, which I haven't seen yet. It's really early. And I brought it home. I took it out of the car and I hung it on the hook under the eave on the front of my house. And I stepped 5 steps. I came in the front door. I turned around and looked, and there was a hummingbird on it. It was like 15 seconds, and it found my plant. I was so excited.
All right.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, we have hummies almost year round now.
Oh, love them.
Hey, Kai.
I can hear birds somewhere. Is that at your place, Susan?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
they're
outside
pretty.
today because it's so nice.
Susan, is that a honeysuckle growing on your porch?
It's grapevines.
Oh, even better. I have a honeysuckle that looks very similar to that. And it's when the breeze comes up and you're sitting on the porch, it smells like perfume. It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, we use it as a screen mostly for the sun, but the birds like to eat the grapes, and sometimes I make wine.
Yum. I have a grapevine too, but it's really temperamental. Sometimes, some years it does really well, some others it doesn't. It's an old vine, and last year I had pounds and pounds and pounds of grapes, but they were a little bit bitter, and I have to get them because the birds get them. You know,
Yeah.
they see them, and the birds get them. Really, if you're not quick, the birds get them.
Yeah.
But boy, they're tasty. I love the sound of the birds back there.
Yeah, I have feeders back there too, so you see we have them all the time. Lots of birds, and that's one reason I like to sit out here and when the weather's pleasant. It's like 70 and sunny today, so it's really lovely.
Perfect. I love the sound of them. Morning, Tai.
Hi, Deb. How are you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
Staying busy.
Nice. Wow, we still have 7 minutes. I hope DDR is listening. I want him to know that he has created a monster.
Only one?
Only one. It's a good response.
I think there's quite a few monsters he's created.
Yep, he's created a monster. I have become a tech addict. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, Susan. I love the sound of a bird chirp, but you've got so many of them. It's almost a little overwhelming.
Shall I turn off?
No, I'm fine. I'm not even being critical. I'm just being observant that, wow.
Yeah, we have a real lot.
What's the abundant bird there? How many what kind do you have the most of?
It's hard to say. We have lots of sparrows. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Finches, goldfinches and house finches. A lot of starlings, grackles, red-winged blackbirds, and cowbirds. They all hang out together.
Yeah.
Cardinals, nuthatches. We have two kinds of woodpeckers. We have a pair of ducks that
That's
come.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And
We have a lot of the same species.
yeah. Yeah, we don't
The
have
grackles.
Yeah, grackles are a pain, man.
Oh my God, I have them by the dozens.
The starlings are a hoot. It's this time of year they've fledged, but they haven't quite learned how to get their own food. So they follow their parents around screaming for food. It's hysterical. They do. And they'll be sitting in the pan where the food is on the ground, screaming for food. So the parent will pick up a piece and put it in its mouth,
Too funny. It's so funny to watch them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Hey, Emily.
Hello, Deborah. How are you?
I'm good. I have to ask you about those beautiful costumes that you and your mother were wearing in those pictures. Was that for a special event?
That was my wedding.
Was it? What beautiful dresses.
Yes, I married, my husband is Punjabi. So we had a wedding that kind of represented both of our cultures. So we did a very traditional tea ceremony and wore saris and things like that. And
love it. Those were beautiful.
Thank you. The best thing about wearing a sari for your wedding is no matter how big your belly gets, because I was pregnant, you just have to unhook one little notch. So I was like, oh, this is the best wedding. I'm like, everybody should wear these because no matter how much stress you go through and the weight goes up and down, you just have to adjust the little belt loop.
Oh my gosh.
But thank you so much.
Oh my God, they were really stunning. I mean, your wedding must have been just so colorful.
It was very colorful. Yes, it was fun. So,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, Brenda, you made it. Oh, you're muted. Who?
I did. I couldn't remember which week this was since he's only every other week. I got lost for a minute. Who knows time anymore? Right?
How's your house coming, Brenda?
It's good. The cabinets are going up today and
Yippee
yesterday.
skippy.
So
That's
we're getting there.
exciting. Yeah, when the
Mhm.
kitchen starts coming together, it's really nice.
Mhm. He
Deb,
says
are
he'll
you
be
in-
out of there the end of this week, but I don't believe him.
Deb, are you in for Judy today?
I'm just here. Judy was here a minute ago. She just
Oh.
disappeared. I don't know where she went.
Wow,
I wonder if she got bounced out by Zoom.
maybe.
Nope. I'm just being a yacker.
Well, you were doing good at hosting, so I thought I just assumed you were stepping in.
I'm a talker. I'm cooped up in my house 24/7. So this is I get to see people.
I know how that is sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Hey,
talking to
Brad.
adults. Talking
What's
to
that?
adults.
Oh,
I
hello.
always have to reason with kids, so it's nice to talk to adults.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, Bradley.
Hi, Deb.
Good to
Hey,
see you.
Bradley.
Hello, Brenda. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you
Hi.
too.
I have to tell you, Emily, when you were asking me about talking, I have a class that I teach, and it's usually a pretty big class. The forum is big, and when I come in, I always say hello to everybody who has a camera on, which I try to do. I try to say hello to each of them by name. And one woman said to me, I feel like I'm in romper room every time I come to your class. Some of you are too young to know what romper room is, but they used to come on and, say hello to everyone by name. And
Hey, I actually had a friend who was on Romper Room and she got kicked out.
no way. That's quite a memory. I got kicked out of romper room.
That's funny.
Every time
She needs a.
Leon does this, I think romper room.
Yes.
Yep.
See, I think Care Bear stare. For the heart
Care
opener.
Bears.
Yeah.
I remember
You
Care
warm up the
Bear.
Valley Badge. Yeah.
Now I have to Google romper room because I might be one of them that's too young to know what it is.
Oh, everybody's.
Could be.
Really, you're making us feel bad.
Although I
Definitely
didn't
too
have,
old to have watched it, or too young to
Okay.
have watched it myself.
yeah,
but
I didn't
don't
have
feel
TV
bad.
as a kid, so it's also possible that I just never saw it. So
Braggart. Wow.
It was on right after or right before Bozo the Clown. Did you see Bozo the Clown?
I know of him, but I don't know. We only had one channel growing up, and it was CBS. Let's just say we didn't watch it very often.
Speaking of Romper Room, David-Dorian Ross is here.
Yep.
But we
leader of
can't
the
hear him.
pack. Oh, and he's muted. We can't hear him. Oh, no, he's not muted. Just can't hear him.
I want to
just-
talk to us.
He's muted.
Too many buttons.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
You can hear
Now
you.
you can hear me.
Yes.
And is there an echo?
Nope.
No.
Want one?
Mystery
It's
upon
working.
mystery, mystery upon mystery. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's beautiful to see you. I went live early to make sure that everybody knew that I was doing a show today, and so we've been just kind of seeing that lovely screen, and then I'm like, okay, it's my time. The countdown timer went to 0, and I turned it on. I'm like,
Perfect.
So, and by the way, for those of you who are online and you're wondering, who is he talking to? It's these fine people right here. Look at these. Look at these. It's the Zoom room. Say good morning, Zoom room.
Good morning.
Zoom
Good morning, Zoom
Good
room.
morning, Zoom room.
Yeah, they're a little late with their queuing, but bear with them because they are extraordinary and beautiful and wonderful. Hey, do you know what today is?
No.
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and it's the month of May. And usually I have something very, very special to share with everybody about what day it is and what celebration is happening today. And I don't have anything. I got nothing. I think it's National Be Nice to the Trees Day. That's a real thing. So that's all I got. I don't even have a thought for the day, but something will come to me, I'm sure. Anyway, and I don't know, Judy is not here for some reason. Judy sent me this wonderful, wonderful gift. It is a packet of positive thought cards, basically from Pema Chodron, the Buddhist nun, who is fantastic. And they're meditations and positive reaffirmations that you could just scroll through. And I just opened it up this morning and I was going to shuffle through and find something. But the only thing that I got was the first card. And so I'm going to talk about that at the end of our flow today. So stick around for that. And those of you who are watching over there on Facebook, YouTube, and elsewhere, I don't know where else they might be, watching from the satellite, who knows, up there in the International Space Station. I know that they do Tai Chi in the International Space Station. I just don't know if they're watching us, but they should be. Anyway, for those of you who are perhaps brand new or irregular enough that you forgot what the heck we do, in just mere seconds, I'm going to travel over there, and we're going to do 15 minutes of lovely springtime flow. And then we're going to come back, and I'll talk about that card and my positive thought for the day. And then we're all going to go out and go to Starbucks and meet for chocolate croissants. That's my idea. Isn't that great? And that's all I got. So let's go ahead and do it. Oh, let's do one more thing. Let's do a brief sound check here. If you will help me out here. It's building.
Great. Sounds good.
You can hear that?
Yep.
And you can hear me still?
Yep.
I'm going to just take it down one notch because I'm.
Tiniest.
How about that?
Yep. We can still hear you over it. It's great.
Still hear me over it. All right. And that's all that matters because, it's all about me. Anyway, let's do this thing right over there. And, I need to do this. And then do this so that I can still see all your beautiful faces. It's a brand new playlist, by the way. New playlist for the day. Which I made with my own two little fingers just this morning. For those of you who might be new or who've forgotten, remember that today you do not have to learn anything. You don't have to remember anything, but I will share with you our spotlight moves of the day. It's all about cloud stuff. So we have a movement called piercing the clouds, and then riding upon the clouds, which sometimes I call surfing the clouds. And then swimming through the clouds. And don't worry, I will lead you there. I'm just giving you a little heads up on that. That's our spotlight moves of the day. But I'm going to start right here. An open heart is a great way to start. The open breath will lead you to what's next. And an open mind means you won't go blind. I don't know. That's, I was working on the rhyming there. I'll tell you what, let's just breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. And a big sigh is even nice as you inhale. And then here we go. Lovely. One more time, we'll make 3. Beautiful. And now the arms float out and all the way overhead, halfway down, and then up with the palms pointing up towards the heavens. And the fingertips point down and drip down like raindrops on a pane of glass. Breathe in, halfway down, up and over, holding up the heavens, sliding down. One more time, sinking the chi. Version 2. And now one foot steps out to the side. And in front, the hands drift sort of lazy. And lazy down as well. Breathe in. Oh, just like sitting in a hot tub. Opening the door. Floating back up, rounding out the arms like a big hug. Inhale and open. And scooping this hand under. Capture that moon. Breathe in. Breathe out. And back to the center so that the fingertips can drift back in. Hands flatten and float down, and we're going to go right back to the beginning. Inhale, half down, up to the sky. Just doesn't even stop, doesn't even slow down. Or it's always slow. But there's no rush. Half down. And in front, the hands drift up, opening the door. Beautiful. Stay with me. Inhale and open, and scooping this hand under. Awesome. Now stay with me here as we come back to the center. But this time I'm just going to blow side to side like the spring breeze through the newly born leaves and blossoms. And then everything floats back into the heart. And right out into the corner, a little push is nice. Then we bring it back in and give it one more little push. And drifting once again, everything comes back into the heart. I had my feet cut off. Last one. Now we step it back on in. And one more little push here so that I can drift once more. Only 3 this time. Now stay with me as we pierce the clouds, open, and the fingertips come together like the points of a spear and dive right through big, fluffy pillows and blankets of cloud. Like the Olympian gods tumbled out of bed and forgot to make it and just left it all in wonderful sleepy chaos. Last one, and then we'll bring it back on in, and one more little push, and drifting. And piercing the clouds, open! The fingertips come together like the point of a spear. One more. One push. We bring it in, push out one time, open and pierce the clouds. Just 3 here. Nice. Now stay with me as it floats up and over the top of the clouds, and then just ride along with them. Hey, by the way, did I tell you how awesome you look right now? I'm talking about you. Uno más. And we'll bring it back on in with one time, an extra push. Float across. Come with me, my friends. Right out into the corner. One time. Then swimming through the clouds, just 3 is all I want. Of course, you can do whatever you want. I don't count however many you like. But I'm going up and over. One more. And then we bring it back on in. And drift. One time pushing in the corner. One time swimming through the clouds. And then 3 of riding and surfing the clouds. Just playing with numbers, that's all. Now stay with me. Right? Swimming through the clouds. It's like a little bit, hello, make a bubble. You know how many we got? One more. It really doesn't matter. And then we bring it back on in. Drift. I don't know why I got stuck there. I'm pulling back on in. The camera will catch up to me in a second. And stepping right out into the corner. One time push. One time piercing the clouds. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. And then 3 times riding the clouds, surfing the clouds. Yeah, keep going. You guys are fine. I know it's surreal to think my camera has lagged behind. All right. Sit back with a little bubble and swim through the clouds. And then open. See, there's the little bubble. And then here is swimming through the clouds. Last one. And bring it back on in. And one time push. And then back to center. And open, open, open with a big hug. I'm going to give it a second here, see if I can catch up to myself. Look at that. And the hands turn palm down. Float all the way down the middle. And then one last time, the arms float out to the outside, halfway down. Inhale up and over the top. Sinking the chi. And then this foot returns. That's how we do it. Come on back in. Oh, it's always something. It's literally always something. Here, let me bring my screen back down where I can see all your lovely faces. Oh, how was that?
Excellent.
Did you have some fun with that?
You're awake.
everything was going so perfectly, right? Just it was going so absolutely perfect, and so then halfway through, it just stalled. It was like one of the cars I had when I was going to school, when I was going to college. It was like sometimes you'd be driving along just fine, and all of a sudden it was like,
No, you lost your
I think
flow.
we've always had cars like that. This is a kind of a car, isn't it? Right? And at some point in time, you think it's just going to go just swimmingly down the road, and then all of a sudden it wants to go. Some of you are in my 10 o'clock class, and I'm going to tell a little story about that today, if you come. I want to do something really quick, if you will indulge me, and see if I can find the chat that's going on. Here we go, and see if anybody's over there watching us. Laura Atwell was there, and I hope that you had a good time. Laura's over there on Facebook. She says, I can hear everybody. Lovely. All right. So I have a quick thought. I have just a tiny little, kind of like when I start to have these thoughts in the morning, my positive thoughts, sometimes two of them run together and they overlap and they mix together. So I was talking about this lovely deck of cards that Judy, Miss Judy, sent to me to share something that she had gotten, which is a pack of meditations and positive thoughts from Pema Chodron, who is the beautiful Buddhist nun that some of you may know. And the very first card on the top of the deck was pay attention to the basics. Essentially, pay attention to just the preliminaries, just like what's the first things first, right? And you know, when you think about what's first in Tai Chi, we talk about the basic foundation upon which you stand. I mean, we can call it all kinds of metaphorical things like your footwork or your stance or all that kind of stuff, but it's basically your foundation. The thing upon which you base the rest of your Tai Chi. Life also has a foundation, right, upon which you build the rest of your life. And what is your foundation? Right? And in the Tao Te Ching, it says that the foundation is the Tao itself. Right? If you can peer into that, that vastness that we call the Tao, then that provides your foundation. You don't have to think about anything else because it's all so clear and so tranquil and so effortless, right? Now, if you can't peer into the Tao, right, then what you have is philosophy. So I can't actually get to the first thing, but I can have a good philosophy, and that's my foundation. Upon my philosophy, I can base the rest of my life, my behaviors, my choices, my relationships, everything else, right? So I have a good philosophy, like, for example, here in the Tai Chi Fit world, our philosophy is compassion, benevolence, and authenticity. That's the basics of our philosophy, and everything else that we do is based on that, right? But if you don't have a good philosophy, right, then what are you left with is maybe, just how about good manners, right? If you don't have a good philosophy, at least don't be a dick. Like have like enough politeness that you can treat people well, that you can say yes and no and please and thank you and pay respects to people and have good manners. And if you can't have good manners, then stay home and at least do no harm. Right? These are the foundations. This is what it says in the Tao Te Ching, right? Which leads me to one more connection. And that is our look back to the ancient Roman Stoics and Marcus Aurelius, who's perhaps the most famous Roman Stoic, who said, don't bother to try to figure out how to be a good person. Just be one. Right? And this is the preliminaries. This is the basics. Something built inside of each one of us as a human being authentically knows what it means to be a good person. You don't have to have a fancy philosophy. You don't have to have rules or laws or memberships or anything else like that. You don't have to try to figure out how to be a good person. Just be one. And when I look into the faces of people, I look into I'll tell you a quick story. Years and years ago, when I used to be an active martial arts competitor, I would travel all over the country to compete in different martial arts tournaments. And a lot of the times, there were many that were held in the deep South, And there were a lot of people in the deep South who had very different points of view about aspects of society that I do. Right? Like majorly different. Like they would say things and I would like, I can't even hear that. And yet when I looked into their eyes, I looked into their souls, what I saw was another human being who loved their family, who appreciated the simple things like driving a pickup truck or, eating an apple or something of that nature. They were not that different. Inside of them, they knew how to be a good person. They knew how to have hospitality for strangers. They knew how to share the little bit that they had with somebody that they didn't even know, because this was my experience with them. Right? And by the way, they knew that I was, at that time, what would my left of Bill Clinton, I guess, would be the popular political figure of the day. Right? But they were still nice to me because they were human, and so was I. So my positive thought for the day, sometime today, you may be thinking to yourself, how do I deal with all this stuff that's going on in the world? How do I deal with my crazy neighbor or my, Uncle Fred who just drives me nuts? It's like, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out how to be a good person. Just be one. Anyway, that's my thought for the day, my invitation. And I'm so grateful to you that you let me share that with you. I really am. Okay, now, if you missed the beginning of class, I said we're off to Starbucks for chocolate croissants, and so I'll meet you all there, and I'll see you here in 2 weeks. Peace, my friends.